Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you for stopping by. Hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys came ready to talk about influencing and content creating. So first, it is called Tea Time with YaYa. It's hopefully the first of a few series that I'm gonna start, but with it being tea time, it's time for a drink. So I put some ice in my water bottle. And today, I will probably mute out me blending this. But today, I'm going to be drinking liquid IV passion fruit. And you add a whole water bottle, which is 16 ounces, give or take. And then your liquid IV, it's a hydration multiplier. So it's perfect in the summer. It's perfect all year round if you're active. But it's extra good in the summertime. So I've got my thing in here and just gonna fast forward me pouring and blending. Okay. So if you haven't tried liquid IV, I actually have a discount code. Mama of Toddlers 20 or 25. I will link it down below if you want to check them out. If not, you don't have to. It's also available at most local retailers and they're really good. So this one is passion fruit. I also like lemon lime. I have not tried acai berry, but maybe I should. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna be talking about my small influencing career, like 2 or 3 months. Started when my daughter was a baby. She was a brand rep for a clothing company and a couple bow companies. And so when you brand rep, there's like group chats and you get connected with some moms who are like-minded and doing the same thing. And so my daughter was a brand rep and I saw this ad for a online boutique and they said, brand ambassadors wanted, join now and get half off your first order. And I was like, I'll do it to get half off some clothes. So I applied, got accepted. Everyone got accepted. And she added me to this Facebook group with the rest of the brand ambassadors. And so I only got 1 order and like stopped paying attention to that group for like a year or 2. For a year. And then after about a year, like this notification came up on my Facebook and was like, hey, does anybody want to join an Instagram group chat to where we like engage on each other's posts? Engagement is a word that I'm going to use a lot. Engage means to interact, means like to like save. Save is that little flag at the bottom of the Instagram pictures. That's very important for Instagram, the algorithm. And to comment, and not just like a little heart emoji, but to comment 4 to 5 words, the more the better. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll join this group. Like, so I joined the group, met these ladies, and it was cool. Like we would like each other's posts every once in a while, we'd chit chat. And then one girl ordered a dress and it was not like the picture. It was so bad and she paid a good amount of money for the dress. And so she talked to the owner of the boutique like, hey, this dress is not like the picture for it and I want a refund. And it took the lady a long time to respond back. And she was basically like, I will refund you if you pay to ship it back to me. Shipping's like $12. And the girl was like, I just paid $12 for you to ship it to me. And so long story short, we found out that the owner of the boutique was actually an Amazon influencer, which apparently a lot of boutique owners are, but she was buying things from Amazon, hiking up the price, and then charging an arm and a leg for shipping. Needless to say, none of us are brand reps for her anymore. But the one thing that we got out of it was we got these really good friendships with some amazing ladies, and we've stayed connected. And so in that group chat, a couple of the girls were like, hey, I am collabing with this company, and I think they're like looking for other people to try out their products. All you have to do is try out their product for free and like post about it. And I'm like, count me in. Backtrack. My cousin had posted about an app that you could rate and review beauty products, you know, like local drugstore beauty products, and every once in a while they will opt you into a campaign, and they will send you something that you can try out for free as long as you post about it. And I'm like, yeah, I can totally post about this on Instagram, like no big deal. So I think that the only thing I got from that company was like a facial primer, which I don't use facial primer, but I mean, I think I did it, and was a jar of spaghetti sauce. So that was back in 2018 or 19. And if I look in my archive photos, there's a picture of that jar of spaghetti sauce. That wasn't bad. I mean, I used for chicken parm. And you know, it helped cook dinner that night. But that's all I'd really known about that certain app. So I started getting a couple of free things with these companies, and I would post about it. And then, I don't know, I just started to kind of rebrand myself, and I changed my name on Instagram from the name it had been for like 5 years to Mama of Toddlers, because my Gabby had just turned 2 and D'Angelo was 3, and so I had 2 toddlers, and I kind of just started talking more about motherhood. And then I got really bold, and I'd applied for Like to Know It in the fall, and I got rejected because I really wasn't active on Instagram, because in this group of ladies, there was a couple Like to Know It girls, and I was like, oh, well, if they can do it, I can do it. Nope, I got rejected. So I applied again in the spring, and I got accepted. So the day I got accepted, I took a leap of faith, and I got on Facebook, because when you have a business Instagram page, it like automatically makes you a Facebook page. And I got on my personal Facebook page, which I'm friends with like over 2,000 friends and family, people I went to middle school with, to my third cousin on my dad's side. Like, I'm friends with everybody on Facebook. And I got really bold, and I made a post, and I said, I don't even know what I said, but I just said, I've started a Facebook page, a Kayla Horton Facebook page, so it would mean a lot if you liked it, and followed me on Instagram as I'm starting to work for companies. I said something like that. And I went from like 3 followers, Dom's mom, his sister, and my mom. Actually, my mom didn't even follow my Facebook page. It was like one of my friends or cousins, like, and I went from 3 followers to like 200 on Facebook, which is like, it was a big deal for me, because I hit the invite all, and I invited my whole 2,000 people I'm friends with on Facebook. And then I don't think my Instagram followers grew a lot, because I was already connected with a decent amount, and plus not everybody reads everything. So like, followers is something I will talk about later. So that's kind of how I got started, and just like having that boldness to tell my friends and family that I was taking a leap of faith, and like, I think I said taking a leap of faith and dipping my feet into the influencing world, is what I told them. I think it's so weird, because I don't consider myself an influencer, because I don't do anything that cool. I consider myself more of a content creator, because companies send me products, and in exchange I send them pictures, sometimes post about them, and then sometimes get paid. So that's kind of my backstory on how I became a content creator, nano influencer, whatever you want to call it. So thanks for listening. Wanting to content create, if you haven't already, you need to change your Instagram to a business. I've never tried the creator. I know that that's more for shops, but with the business Instagram, you're able to look at the analytics. You're able to not only see likes, comments, and saves, but if you click on the search, like if there's your picture, you can swipe up and you can see how many impressions it has. You can see how many people have viewed it. And also you can see where your viewers are coming from. So you can see if they're coming from hashtags, if they're coming from your profile, the home, or there's another, and I don't know what the other is. So change your Instagram to business, first and foremost. So second is kind of figure out your niche. I am friends with a lot of makeup ladies. I am friends with an organization lady. I hope you're watching this, Ashley. She's her business is organizing homes and organizing homes, bedrooms, offices, things like that. And so that's like her niche, is organization. So she does a lot of like home photos and a lot of tutorials and a lot of like how to organize. And so like I said, my makeup friends, I'm gonna shout out Mommy in Stilettos because she's just the first one who pops into my head. Her whole niche is, you know, makeup and beauty, and that's, you know, what she has like made herself known as. So mine is can you guess what mine is? If you can guess it, like comment below. But mine is, I've tried to make mine into motherhood, very broad, very general. I'm able to work with beauty, clothing companies, so beauty, hair, makeup, and then also stuff for my kids. My kids have benefited, maybe not as much as me, but my kids have benefited a lot from content creating. We've worked with some really great children's companies, and we've gotten them some great stuff. So figure out your niche, and then that's the content you're going to create for it. So I have kind of gone crazy, and I've collabed with a lot of companies, but I try to not make my whole feed collabs. It can kind of seem that way, but when I am talking about a company, I try to relate it to us and make it personal. And I've also committed like myself to posting at least once a week just about my kids, my life, me, your Dom, or just about my family, or even stuff that's happening in the world, you know, like stuff that's not sponsored, to say the least. So find your niche. First one is business Instagram. Second is find your niche. And then third is, I'm actually going to talk about this in my next video, but I'll touch on it right now, is there are actually apps and websites that will help you for free, that will help you connect with companies to get your name out there, and even set up collabs for you. So yes, like I said, my next video will be dedicated to that, because there's a lot of apps and websites that I have been a part of, that I am a part of, and some are really great, some are not so great. Some are great when you're first starting out, but as I have grown and gotten more collabs, and I've actually gotten paid for a few posts, it's kind of hard to continue to stick with some of the apps. So that's another one, is apps and websites. If you have a specific question about that right now that I could DM you about, like comment below, let me know. And then, so those were my first three. My fourth one, I probably should have started with this. But my fourth one is learn to accept rejection. So when I started this, like I said, my friend had kind of told me of a few companies that were looking for influencers, you know, like looking for people to do collabs with. And so those were kind of like shoo-ins. But then you get a shoo-in and they say, I'm sorry, but we're full of collabs right now. You're like, excuse me? Like, but my friend just collabed with you, and me and my friend have the same amount of followers. We get roughly the same amount of likes. Like, why doesn't this company want to work with me? It's not you. So let me see. Yep. All right. So this is the one I really wanted to talk about. Is I have a few stories on this. So when I started influencing at the beginning of March, and I started really posting heavily in mid-March to April. So during that beginning of March, early February, before I was posting, I was DMing and emailing so many companies. I was getting packages from so many companies. Literally, the FedEx guy was getting annoyed with me because he was coming to my house like more than once a day, and he was bringing multiple packages. So multiple FedEx guys, UPS, DHL, because some of the companies I've worked with are overseas, like Sweden, I know Sweden at least. I've worked with like 2 or 3 in Sweden. Anyways, I was getting rejected by just as many companies as I was getting accepted by. So when you are DMing or emailing companies, if you don't have a media kit, which if you are starting out as a nano influencer is anyone with less than 10,000 followers. I'm still a nano influencer. I just reached 4,000 followers on Instagram this past weekend. My son turned 4 and I hit like 4,000 within the same few days. I think I might have hit 4,000 right before he turned 4. But anyways, nonetheless, I'm still a nano influencer. That I just am, and I've worked with a lot of companies, and that's fine. I have not always been fine with that, but I will touch on that in a little bit. So like I said, I personally applied for this to work with this one company, and they told me no. They said, we are not looking for collabs at the moment, but we'll keep you in mind. And then I kept seeing my friends posting about them, so I messaged them again, and they said, sorry, we're still full of for collabs. All right, cool. So like I got rejected by Like to Know It, I also got rejected by this brand back in March, and then I got rejected again in May after I was over 3,000 followers. I will touch on followers after this segment, but followers is my number 5 if you are making a list. So got rejected by them, and I'm like, I was at a loss for words. So I finally was okay with it after I had messaged another company and applied to work with them, and I got accepted, and this company's collabs were ongoing. So unlike the company I wanted to collab with, I found a bigger and a better and a more well-known company than the first. So just because you're rejected in the beginning when you're starting out doesn't mean you will be rejected forever. I'm still rejected a lot. Let me just say that. I don't have 10,000. I don't have 5,000 followers. So there's a lot of companies. Followers is later. So I do want to say though that the company that rejected me twice, March and May, they emailed me in June and they said, hey mama of toddlers, we saw your profile and we love your content. We'd love to work with you. Just the amount of satisfaction that I had when they emailed me with that was through the roof. I'm collabing with them in July, but I almost didn't, but I really want to just try it. Like, I am collabing with them this month, and I'm not going to disclose their name because I'm collabing with them, and so I feel really bad. Like, hopefully if our collab works out great, they want to go ongoing, but if it doesn't, I have the other company that I love so much and that I have promoted a few times. So like I said, accept rejection. I emailed, so at first I just DM'd companies because I was a little intimidated by emailing. So you can DM companies right on their Instagram, and I had a little spiel that I had. I will talk about that in another YouTube video because it took me a while to not perfect my spiel, because I can always work on everything that I'm doing, but it took me a while to kind of get the hang of how I wanted to present myself to companies. So I would DM them. Sometimes they DM me back, sometimes they don't. I am left on red a lot, and you just have to learn to accept it. And number 5 is followers. So there are a few milestones. You're gonna want to set goals. I probably should have started out with that. I might redo this and start with that. So setting goals. We can just talk about setting goals now. So when it comes to followers, you're gonna want to set goals. A lot of people who I know who have asked me to make this video are under 1,000, and there are ways to grow your following. But if you have under 1,000, let 1,000 be your goal. And then when you are at 1,000, let 3,000 be your goal, because when you hit 3,000, you can work with certain apps and certain companies certain apps and certain websites that companies use their content creators, like they filter them through. So after you hit 3,000, your next goal should be 5,000, which is my goal. Well, yeah, I say that with a grain of salt. So 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, and then after 10,000, I don't know what your goal should be. I've got friends who have over 60,000 followers who are still doing follow trains and like trying to get even more. So I think that their goal is 100,000. I don't know. So how giveaways work is you usually follow the company who is giving the product away, the person follows you, and then they tag their friends to enter the giveaway. And that's just, I always gain, I don't want to jinx myself, but I have gained, I usually average at least 100 followers per giveaway, sometimes more, sometimes less. So some people do like a $25 Starbucks gift card with a tumbler, you know, like that's a giveaway. Maybe that's, if that's what you personally want to put out there, then you could host a giveaway like that. That's just what I have to say about giveaways. Followers. Now I have to think. There's one more thing I wanted to touch on, and then this video will be done. For my very first tea time with YaYa, one thing that was really cool that I've started seeing in the last month or two, probably since beginning of June, maybe early May, I'm pretty proud of myself because I've worked with some really cool companies and I've only been doing this for a few months. One thing that I'm learning is that, one thing that I'm learning is that repeated collabs are the way to go. So I say that because I am not messaging companies like I used to. This sounds so silly, but I would wake up with the kids at like 5 in the morning and I would start messaging and emailing companies. I haven't done that for a long time. That's because I have a lot of repeat collabs that I'm doing right now. I could name drop a couple, but if you look at my Instagram, you can see that, oh wow, she's posting another workout outfit for this company. Oh wow, she's posting this pre-workout again. So I honestly think that's the way to go, is finding a few companies that you really enjoy and you really enjoy their products. and you really enjoy the company themselves. There's some companies that have been hard to work with. A couple clothing companies that, because of COVID, shipping has been delayed, and so they've wanted pictures the next day, and I'm like, hold up, this hair just doesn't look that good overnight. It takes a week of prepping. It takes going natural for 24 hours. You know, like, you figure it out. My hair is not naturally straight. Let me tell you that. I'm very sorry to disappoint. So I say all that to, companies will want to, just because you post a great post and it gets a lot of engagement doesn't mean they're going to want to continue to work with you, but you are more likely to work with them again if you are posting quality content and good engaged content. And there's no way to control engagement. Hashtags are a great resource. I'm going to be doing a video on that soon. And hashtags are just like the luck of the draw. I will talk about that in a future video. But so thanks for tuning in for Tea Time with YaYa. Stay tuned for the next few weeks' videos. My goal is to do one video a week about influencing, content creating, social media. Like I said, I know a lot of random information about Instagram. So if you want to leave some comments, you don't have to leave multiple comments, that's silly. If you want to leave a comment below asking questions, I know a good amount about Instagram. I am on all platforms as Mama of Toddlers. Pinterest, like to know it, Twitter, Facebook. I think that's it. My Snapchat is not Mama of Toddlers, but I guess my Snapchat's a little more personal, but some companies do like to collab through Snapchat. So if you have a lot of people who view your stories on Snapchat, keep that in mind for if you're wanting to work with companies. Oh, TikTok, Mama of Toddlers. So thanks for watching. If you haven't already, if you liked this video and you want to see more like it, hit that little thumb button. I think it's right there. Maybe it's right there. Hit that little thumb button to show me you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't. So thanks for watching. How to word this. One thing that I'm learning is that one thing that was really cool that I've started seeing in the last month or two. So let me adjust myself.